Hey Dragons, welcome to day 9 of digital learning. Today is March 26th and we are going to continue our measurement unit with practicing with input-output tables that we learned about yesterday. So input-output tables are things that we use to help us with patterns. We can also use it to help us with measurement conversions. So I just wanted to review what input-output tables are. Input-output tables are also known as function tables, so we're trying to figure out the function or the rule that's going on. They are like machines, so you can put one number in, use a rule, and get another number out while keeping the same value. So again, similar to patterns. So let's say I put a 1 into my machine. I put a 1 in, and out comes a 3. I have to figure out what was the rule or the function that happened to make that 1 turn into a 3. I know that I could use a rule of times 3 to figure this out. Let's say I put a 2 into my input-output table machine. Out will come a 6. To make sure that my rule is true, I need to make sure that 2 times 3 is 6. I input a 2, I use my function or rule times 3, and I get a 6. And I know that's true because 2 times 3 is 6. Now I'm going to put a 3 into my input-output table machine, and I'm going to get a 9 as the output. In goes a 3, out comes a 9 because I know 3 times 3 is 9. I'm using that rule or the function. Next, I'm going to try it with 4. I'm going to input the number 4. I'm going to use my rule of times 3, and I should get out a 12 because I know 4 times 3 is 12. Because all of my inputs and outputs are true with the function or the rule times 3, I know that the rule is multiply by 3. Now I want you to pause the video and try this input-output table on your own. Input a number, see what the machine gives you as an output, and try to figure out the rule. Alright, if you've unpaused this video, that's because you've typed in some answers to your input-output table. So I'm going to start by putting a 1 into this machine, and I'm going to get out a 15. Now I need to figure out how I turn that 1 into a 15. How do I do it? I could multiply 1 times 15, but I need to see if this rule works for all of my input-output numbers, because the rule could also be addition or subtraction. So I'm going to put in different numbers and see what I get as the output. So let's say I put in 2. If I multiplied that by 15, I should have gotten 30, because 2 times 15 is 30. Now we're going to see if this works with 3. I input a 3, so I'm going to do 3 times 15, and I should get out 45 because I know that 3 times 15 is 45. If I didn't know that, I could have used area model to solve it. This next part is like I'm throwing the machine in reverse. Instead of starting with an input, I'm actually starting with an output. I'm starting with 60 and I'm going backwards. When I go the opposite direction, I'm actually going to use inverse operation because inverse operations undo operations. So if I had multiplication, to undo it, I would use division. If I had addition, to undo it, I would use subtraction. It changes what you've just done. So instead of multiplying by 15, now I'm going to divide by 15. So what is 60 divided by 15? Well, I know that 60 divided by 15 is 4. So if I reverse the machine and start with my output of 60, I should get 4 as my input. Now I'm going to go back to the way I was doing it, and I'm going to have 5 input. So what am I going to get out? I'm going to have to do 5 times 15. And I know that 5 times 15 is 75. Now we're going to move into some measurement conversions, and in order to be able to convert these numbers, you're going to need conversion charts. So I have input in your Google Slides conversion charts for length, capacity, and weight. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this first measurement slide. I need to start off by understanding what unit of measurements I'm using. So how am I measuring these things? I'm using cups and ounces. I can tell from my input-output table that I'm going to start with cups and the output will be ounces. So I need to figure out what kind of measurement that is and what is the conversion for it. So if I scroll up to my conversion charts, I can see that ounces to cups is a capacity, so how much a container can hold. So I know that there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. So if I have 1 cup, my conversion chart told me earlier that that's 8 ounces. I'm now asking myself the question, how did I get from 1 to 8? What is that rule? Well, I know I could do 1 times 8. So I know that when I'm going from cups to ounces, I'm going to be multiplying. So I can take your highlighted circle and put it over multiply. What about if I'm going in the opposite direction? If I'm going in the opposite direction, I'm using an inverse operation. So the opposite of multiplication would be division. So if I'm going from ounces to cups, I'm going to divide. I'm going to visualize that I have a machine and I'm inputting a 3 into that machine. Well, based on my rule of times 8, I know that 3 times 8 is 24. So if I had 3 cups, it would be equivalent to 24 ounces. Now, if I'm going from ounces to cups, I'm going to divide. So when I have 40 ounces, I'm going to divide that by 8, and I know 40 ounces is equal to 5 cups. 7 times 8 is 56, so I know if I have 7 cups, I have 56 ounces. Go ahead and try this problem on your own. Try to complete this whole page, and when you're done, we'll go over it. So try to do it on your own. Alright, let's get started. The very first thing you have to do is understand your unit of measurements. So here I have quarts and cups. So I'm going to write my units of measurement as quarts and cups. I need to scroll back up to my conversion charts and figure out how many cups are in a quart. Alright, so here I can see 1 quart and then I can see 2 cups. So there is a conversion in between it. I want to know how many cups are in 1 quart. Well, I don't know that based on this chart. I have to do some conversions. So I know there are 2 cups in 1 pint. I also know that there are 2 pints in 1 quart. So I need to figure out how many cups are in 2 pints. Well, I know there are 4 cups in 2 pints because 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 pints is equal to 1 quart. So 4 cups is also equal to 1 quart. I'm just going to write that conversion down right here, that 4 cups is equal to 1 quart. So now I have 2 quarts input into my machine. So how many cups am I going to get out? I know my rule is going to be times 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. So 8 cups is equivalent to 2 quarts. So when I'm going from quarts to cups, I'm multiplying. But if I'm going to go from cups to quarts, I'm dividing. So when I'm going from cups to quarts, the number's actually getting smaller because I'm using a bigger unit. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. I'm going from quarts to cups, so I multiply by 4. So 6 times 4 is 24, and then 8 times 4 is 32. I want you guys to go ahead and do this next slide as independent practice, and I'm going to be checking it on its learning today. So don't forget to hit submit when you're done. Try your best, and I believe in you. Bye, dragons.